Myself, Dr. S. P. Ramat, Professor, working in the Department of Pharmaceutics, KLE College of Pharmacy, Hubli. In this session, I'll be telling you about the various pharmaceutical dosage forms which can be prepared by the manufacturing chemist and which are available. In this session, I'll be telling you about the introduction, need for the dosage forms, advantages and disadvantages, classification, definition of various dosage forms, novel drug delivery system, and the last one is references. Before I go to the various pharmaceutical dosage forms, let me tell you about what we mean by pharmaceutics and active pharmaceutical ingredient. There are many chemicals with known pharmacological properties, but a pure and a raw chemical is of no use to the patient. The pharmaceutics deals with the formulation of pure drug substance, that is active pharmaceutical ingredient, into a suitable dosage form. Now, what do you mean by active pharmaceutical ingredient? It is a chemical compound with a certain pharmacological or direct effect intended for use in diagnosis, treatment, or prophylaxis of diseases. Coming to the need for dosage forms. Before I tell you about the need for dosage form, let me tell you about what you mean by a dosage form. Dosage forms are nothing but it is a combination of a drug and a non-drug component giving a particular shape, which will be consumed by the patient for a particular diseases. The need for dosage forms are the protection for drug from destructive influences of atmospheric oxygen or moisture and to deliver accurate doses. As it is known that there are various chemicals which are destroyed by atmospheric oxygen or moisture, and thus there is a need for protection of these type of chemicals or active pharmaceutical ingredient, and therefore it is possible to formulate a drug in such a dosage form where it can be protected by the atmospheric oxygen as well as moisture, and finally to deliver accurate dose. The second one is the protection of drug from destruction of gastric acid on oral administration. Why? Because there are many active pharmaceutical ingredients which can be destroyed by the gastric environment. And third one is because the various active pharmaceutical ingredients are having bitter taste and foul odor. There is a need for masking of these bitter taste and foul odor. Therefore, there is a need for to mask the bitter taste and foul odor. And the next one is to provide extended drug action through sustained or controlled release mechanism so that the frequency of dose can be minimized, and thus avoid the possible dose dumping, and thereby controlling the or minimizing the side effects produced by the particular drug. And the next one is for the convenient and efficacious treatment of the disease. And the last one is for administration of drug by all possible routes to achieve maximum therapeutic responses. Coming to the broad classification of these pharmaceutical dosage forms based on their shape of the final product. Number one is liquid dosage form. The next one is semi-solid dosage form, and solid dosage forms, and gaseous dosage forms. Liquid dosage forms. In pharmaceutical liquid dosage forms, the drug with other non-drug material is present either in a dissolved or undissolved forms in a suitable vehicle, which may be either aqueous or non-aqueous. What are the advantages of these liquid dosage forms? The first and foremost advantage of these liquid dosage forms is drug is quickly available for absorption because it is in the liquid form in a very fine particles. This dosage form is suitable for infants, children, geriatric and mentally disturbed patients. In case of solutions, we can assure the uniformity of the doses because already the drug is in dissolved form. If necessary, dose can be varied by increasing the volume of the liquid or decreasing the volume of the liquid. And the next one is bitter and obnoxious drugs can be given by adding a sweetened, colored and flavored vehicles. And hygroscopic and deliquescent drug materials can be suitably dispensed in this form. The disadvantage of this liquid dosage forms are, since it is a bulky and inconvenient to carry during traveling, drugs are less stable in this form because the reactions are very fast in the liquids. Incompatible drugs cannot be dispensed. That is the most important disadvantage of this liquid dosage forms. There is a chances of variation in the dose because of the mistakes of patients. Chances of microbial growth, especially in case of aqueous media. There is a need for various excipients like sweetening agent, coloring agent, flavoring agents, etc. Liquid dosage forms are formulated either for oral use, external use and for special use. For oral use, the dosage forms which are available and which can be manufactured by the manufacturing pharmacist are simple mixtures, syrups, elixirs, draughts, drops, linctuses, tinctures, spirits, emulsions and suspensions. And for external use, there are specific dosage forms are available. They are liniments, lotions, collodions and applications. For special use, the dosage forms are ear drops, eye drops, eye lotions, nasal drops, enemas, douches, gargles, throat paints, mouth washes, irrigations, sprays, inhalations and parenteral. Coming to the solid dosage forms, semi-solid dosage forms, it means the consistency of a material that is neither solid nor liquid and it is somewhere between these two. These are pharmaceutical formulations containing one or more active pharmaceutical ingredients dissolved or uniformly dispersed in a suitable base and any suitable excipients. And these are prepared for the application to the skin for emollient effect, for protection of lesions and for topical applications. Coming to the advantage of these semi-solid dosage forms and are, they can be used to avoid first pass metabolism of drugs compared to that of the oral drug delivery systems. They have a site specific action of drug on the affected area, which is the most important advantage of this semi-solid dosage form. And these are very much suitable for unconscious patients or patients having difficulty for oral drug administration. And they are suitable for drugs which are degraded in stomach pH, intestine or metabolized by liver. There is no chance of interaction of drug with food, enzymes and other gastrointestinal flora, maintaining drug integrity. And they are more stable than liquid dosage forms because the reactions are very fast in liquids, as I told you in the earlier cases. Termination of therapy can be easily facilitated compared to the other dosage forms. There are various semi-solid dosage forms which are available and which can be prepared. They are gels, creams, ointments, lotions, magmas, pastes, suppositories, pessaries and jellies. Coming to the solid dosage forms, the name itself tells you that the dosage form is in solid in nature. The advantage of these solid dosage form compared to other dosage forms are they are more stable than liquids. They are easy to pack, handle, ship and transport compared to that of the liquid dosage form. There is no need to add preservatives except containing unstable drugs. Dose accuracy is possible because the medication is already in unit measure. Patients are able to self-administer more easily compared to that of the other dosage forms. The various solid dosage forms are powders, which are unshaped both for external and oral administration, tablets, capsules, implants, transdermal patches, lozenges. The next dosage form is gaseous dosage forms, and the dosage forms are inhalations and sprays. Definitions of various dosage forms goes like this. Syrups, these are concentrated aqueous preparation of sugar or sugar substitutes with or without added flavoring agent and medicinal substances meant for oral administration. Simple mixtures, which are rarely prepared nowadays and are almost outdated, and these are liquid preparations containing one or more medicinal substances in dissolved state meant for oral administration. Elixirs, these are sweetened, clear, colored, aromatic, hydroalcoholic liquids of potent drugs meant for oral administration. Draughts, these are liquid preparations with only one or two large doses of about 50 ml and are given in a dose container for oral administration. Linctuses, these are viscous liquid preparations containing high concentration of sucrose meant for oral administration again for the relief of cough. Drops, these are clear, sweetened and flavored liquids for pediatrics dispensed in a suitable bottle containing calibrated dropper meant for oral administration. Tinctures, these are alcoholic or hydroalcoholic solutions prepared from vegetable materials or some chemical substances and meant for oral administration. Spirits, these are again alcoholic or hydroalcoholic solutions of volatile substances and usually meant for oral administration. Emulsions, these are heterogeneous systems which are also called as biphasic systems in which one liquid phase is dispersed in the form of minute globule into another immiscible liquid phase, and they are meant for both oral and external use. And in this preparation, the emulsions are stabilized by adding a third agent called as the emulsifying agent. Suspensions, these are two-phase or biphasic systems in which aqueous or highly coarse dispersions containing a finely divided insoluble drugs suspended in a liquid medium, which are stabilized by adding a third agent called as suspending agent, and they are meant for both oral and external use. Lotions, these are emulsions or suspensions intended to be applied to the skin without friction, which may also be applied as such or with the support of suitable dressing material. Liniments, these are usually emulsions and sometimes solutions also intended for application to the skin with friction or massage and should not be applied to the broken skin. Collodions, these are liquid preparations for external use and are usually applied with a brush or rod in which the solvent system is volatile, which evaporates after application to the skin. Applications, these are the preparations for external application to the skin in the form of emulsions or suspensions. Coming to the other dosage forms like ear drops, These are liquid preparations of drugs intended to be instilled into the ear, usually with a dropper. Eye drops. These are liquid preparation of drugs intended to be instilled into the eye and they are sterile in nature. Eye solutions. Again, these are liquid preparations for bathing the eye and are used as undiluted and must be sterile in nature. Nasal drops. Liquid preparations of drugs intended to be instilled into the nose with a dropper. Enemas. These are liquid preparations of drug intended for rectal administration, especially for evacuation of the bowel for the easy removal of the fecal matter. Douches. These are liquid preparation for rinsing the body cavity and most often for rinsing the vaginal cavity. Gargles. These are liquid preparations employed for local action in the throat and are dispensed in a concentrated form with a specific direction for dilution with a lukewarm water prior to the use. Coming to the paints, these are viscous liquid preparation intended to be applied on the skin or mucosa with some soft device. Mouthwashes. These are liquid preparations for treating oral infections and a bad breath and providing feeling of freshness, which are supplied in concentrated form, which are diluted before use. Irrigations. These are liquid preparations containing medicament used to treat infections of bladder, vagina and even nose, which are introduced with the help of soft tubes. Sprays. These are liquid preparations containing drugs intended to be applied to the mucosa of nose or throat with an atomizer or nebulizer. Inhalations. These are liquid preparations administered by nasal or oral respiratory route for local or systemic effect. Parenteral doses. These are sterile, pyrogen-free liquid preparations containing one or more medicaments intended to be administered parenterally, that is by injections. Gels. These are usually homogeneous, clear, semi-solid preparations consisting of a liquid phase within a three-dimensional polymeric matrix with a physical or sometimes chemical cross-linkage with the help of suitable gelling agents. These are transparent or translucent, non-greasy preparations. Creams. These are homogeneous semi-solid preparations consisting of opaque emulsions systems and their consistency and rheological properties depend on the type of emulsions, either water in oil or oil in water, and on the nature of solids in the internal phase and are meant for external application to the skin. Ointments. These are homogeneous semi-solid preparations intended for external application to the skin or mucous membrane. Jellies. These are also class of gels which are semi-solid systems which consisting of suspensions made up of either small inorganic particles or large organic molecules interpenetrated by a liquid in which the structural coherent matrix contains a high portion of liquid, usually water. These are transparent or translucent, non-greasy preparations. Paste. These are semi-solid preparations containing a high percentage of finely powdered solids and are usually dermatological preparations. Poultices and or cataplasms. These are wet masses of solid matter applied to the skin in order to reduce inflammation and sometimes to act as a counter irritant. They retain heat well which actually helps in reducing in the inflammation at the affected area. These are applied after heating. The preparation is spread on a dressing material and applied as hot as the patient can bear it to the affected area. Powders. These are solid dosage forms of drug substances meant for internal or external use, which may be dispensed as divided powder or as a bulk powder, and they contain one or more active pharmaceutical ingredient. Tablets. These are solid pharmaceutical unit dosage forms containing a drug substance with or without suitable excipients, prepared usually by compression method and rarely by molding method. Capsules. These are unit solid dosage forms of medicament in which the drug or drugs are enclosed in a tasteless, hard or soft soluble container of shell made up of an inert material, gelatin. Pills. These are spherical dosage forms prepared either by mixing drug uniformly with various excipients meant for oral administration, but these have been almost completely replaced by tablets and capsules. Implants. These are small, sterile, cylindrical solid masses and not more than 8 mm length, containing a highly purified active pharmaceutical ingredient with or without excipients, usually prepared by compression method, and is placed under the skin by means of minor surgery, which will release drug over a long period of time. Lozenges. These are solid dosage forms of drugs containing sweetening, flavoring, and a strong binding agent meant for slow dissolution in the mouth, prepared either by molding or by compression. Suppositories. These are special shaped semi-solid to solid molded preparations of various weights and shapes meant for insertion into the rectal, vaginal or urethral orifices of the human body and are meant for both local as well as systemic action. Pessaries. These are again solid dosage forms of medicament either compressed in a suitable shape or molded with the help of a base meant for introduction into the vagina, usually to produce local action. Medical gases. These are compressed gases include gaseous and liquid forms stored in high pressure cylinders with and that are administered as a gas. Aerosols. These are dispersed system in which a very fine solid drug particles or solid droplets get dispersed in the propellant or propellants, which is a gas which acts as a continuous phase. Whatever the dosage forms we discussed so far, they are all conventional dosage forms which will release the medicament as early as possible. But whereas there is a possibility of formulating converting a drug into a such a dosage form which are called as novel drug delivery systems or new drug delivery system. So let us discuss about the novel drug delivery system. Novel means new. Thus, the term novel drug delivery system refers to the dosage forms different from that of the conventional dosage forms. The advantage of these novel drug delivery systems are they give the controlled rate of delivery of a drug of the administered therapeutic dose, thus avoiding the possibility of repeated administration of the drug and thereby avoiding the possibility of more side effects because of the concentration of the drug in a more than required quantity in the body. They maintain the optimum therapeutic drug concentration during the prolonged duration of the treatment. There is a maximum efficacy dose relationship. The chances of adverse side effects can be minimized by converting a drug into such a dosage form, and the frequency of dose intake is minimized. The various novel drug delivery systems are: number one is the controlled drug delivery system. In this, the release of the drug is controlled either by the molecular diffusion of drug molecules in and or across the barrier within or surrounding the delivery system, or the release of drug molecules from the delivery system is slowed down and very limited by molecular diffusion alone. Prodrugs. It is a chemically modified inert drug precursor which upon biotransformation liberates the pharmacologically active parent compound, that is prodrugs are inactive by itself and biotransferred in a predictable manner into a active metabolites. The next one is liposomes. These are artificial microscopic bilayers, vesicles or sacs made of phospholipids and enclosing an aqueous compartment. Monoclonal antibodies. These are protein molecules produced by specialized cells in the body to bind to the foreign substance and destroy them. Nanoparticles. These are colloidal particle systems in the submicron size range acting as a carrier of drug molecules. Microspheres. These are small solid particles carrier containing dispersed drug particles either in solution or in a crystalline form. The next one is neosomes. These are surfactant vesicles similar to the liposomes in that they can entrap and deliver drugs to the targeted sites. And these are the references for this session.